Hello foodies, it's Chef Jen here at the CTE Center, Frisco ISD in beautiful Frisco, Texas. It's fish day. Something smells fishy. Actually, if it smells fishy, you shouldn't use it. All right, there's your tip for today. I am working with trout and we're gonna skin a trout today. So here's our little trouty. A lot of times when you buy trout from the grocery store, it's gonna come in this form, all right? The head will be removed, the top fin, the tail, and of course, all of the guts on the inside. And you're left with this type of fish. Now sometimes when you go to your, the seafood department, you'll have it in two pieces. So you'll actually have two pieces of trout, all right? But now you see how they fit together. When I cook trout, I leave the whole thing together, all right? Now let me give you a little tip on trout really quick. If you want to cook trout, I really recommend leaving the skin on, especially if you're doing a saute or a grill. The flesh is very tender and it tends to come off the skin very quickly. So actually when I saute trout, I put it skin side down into my saute pan with a little bit of oil, usually vegetable oil or olive oil, and I cook it from the bottom up. And then I might only flip it over for just a little bit to get a little bit of color on the top, but that way my flesh stays attached. I personally prefer to eat trout with the skin on. So I have my little trout fillet here. This is my head end. It's the wider one. The wider one's where my head was. And this is my little tail. The easiest way to skin a trout is you're going to use this little guy right here. I love my knives. I love knives. This is a fillet knife or a boning knife. And that is what you want to use to get the skin off the trout. Now, don't do one of these funky things where you try to skin it from the top. Don't do that. That makes your life harder. Loosen up some of the flesh of the fish, like so that you can grab the skin of the tail. And then you're gonna, it's like you're opposing your hands. This hand's going forward, this hand's pulling the skin backwards, so you're opposing. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm pulling on my skin, and I'm gently scraping my knife against the skin, nice and slow. Just, it's almost kind of like I'm sawing a little bit, not back and forth, but I'm pushing forward. It's almost like I'm pulling the skin off the fish. My knife is just guiding the flesh off. As we move toward the head, make sure you are pulling that skin and coming up. Notice I'm not out here on my tail anymore. I don't need to be out this far. I need to be closer in to keep guiding my knife and the skin away from it. All right. Well, I lost a little bit right there. I should have pulled my knife over. It'll happen. Don't sweat it. That's still good fish though. We're going to eat it because it is still very edible. Just use your knife as a guiding tool to pull the fish off. But look at that beautiful skin. Nice and clean. Voila. And that is all there is to it, gang. So your best friend in this whole activity is one of these bad boys, a boning knife or a fillet knife. Nice and sharp. You're not sawing away the flesh from the skin. You're pulling on the skin and sliding the knife down the length of the skin away from the flesh. It's all you got to remember. Might want to wear gloves so you don't smell fishy the rest of the day. All right, this has been Chef Jen at the CTE Center in Frisco ISD. Have a great day. Go fishing.